Neko Danka. A long time ago, an elder monk and an old orange tabby lived together in a poor mountain temple. Since they had nothing to do, they spent every day sleeping. One day, the orange tabby suddenly went up to the monk and said, "I've grown very old, and soon enough I will turn into a ghost. Before that happens, I would like to pay you back for all the kindness you have shown me." The monk, surprised that the cat had spoke, responded, "You don't need to repay me anything. Let's just keep living here peacefully." But the orange tabby was determined to show his gratitude, so he came up with a plan. "In a few days, the daughter of the village elder will pass away. During her funeral, I'll raise the casket up in the air, and when they call for you, please recite the Namutoraya Buddhist scripture." At first, the monk ignored the cat's strange request, but after a few days, the daughter of the village elder grew sick and passed away. The elder called for a high-ranking monk and held a lavish funeral for his daughter. As the funeral was about to end, the casket suddenly started to float in the air. The funeral attendees were stunned. "What is happening? How do we get the casket to come down?" The elder asked the high-ranking monk to do something about this, but no matter what scripture the monk chanted, the casket didn't budge. The elder, completely out of ideas, told one of the villagers to go get the monk who lived in the mountain temple. Once the monk reached the funeral, he saw the casket floating in the air and began reciting a Buddhist scripture. Once he began reciting Namutoraya, as the orange tabby had told him, the floating casket slowly returned back to the ground. The village elder and the rest of the villagers thanked the monk for all that he had done. As payment for his services, the village elder rebuilt the poor mountain temple into a gorgeous temple for the monk to live in. Every morning since then, villagers would form a long line to get into the temple to pray. The monk now worked very hard and had no time to sleep during the day. The end.